one of the most important positions. This is one of the most strategic positions in our governmental system. And yet, it gets the least play. But we're going to give it the most play this morning. This is the Judges Show, heard exclusively on your show, Straight Talk Live.
There's a thing known in the community called homicidal pain. That's when someone gets killed and everything. It's the pain that you feel from the homicide that's so prevalent in our neighborhood. Yeah. And we've changed it from the pain to the healing. We've got to show people to know that every time this happens, it shows us we've got to heal. You know, so everything that we do is positive, because if you focus on the negative, people can continue to perpetuate the negative. So you begin to focus on something positive, give them something positive to do, and they'll matriculate into that.
Coalition of Concerned Black Citizens. And we have put together a group panel of judges. They will be interviewed, my understanding is in pairs, for the Franklin County Court of Common Pleas General Division. This is the adult felony court. Many times you see television broadcasts about sentencings and high-profile murder cases, and this is the court where those cases take place. And so I thought it was very important for
Wait a minute, say that again. This is the court.
This is the division of
where?
The court where all the adult felonies are heard.
Whoa.
Okay.
So this is critical.
This is critical.
This is critical.
This is critical.
It's critical that you have people there who, what was that saying that Vivian used? Not determined that I'm
not just
about
be concerned about their destiny, exactly, but their destiny as well. That was very heavy, very heavy.
Okay, I tell you what we're going to do then. We're going to bring them in here in just a second, because I think the first up will be Laurel Bates.
What we have to realize, though, is that it is about $17,000 for tuition, room, and board at OSU. It is about $24,000 to house a prisoner. And so even when you look at the dollars, it doesn't necessarily make sense. So one of the things that we have to realize is that people are coming from all different walks of life, and they're in our courtrooms for all different reasons. And so we need to have things like alternative sentencing, like the Alvis House and different places like that available to people who don't necessarily need to be warehoused.
Does cash registered justice exist in the Franklin County court system, in your opinion?
I think it's a perception. I think in some cases it does.
Stop right there. Stop right there. You know and I know that law is simply the science of words. So when you say perception, what do you mean?
I think in a lot of cases where I know a lot of people who work down at the courthouse are very dedicated to what they do, both in the public defender's office and in the bar, to help the people that they're assigned to represent, and they're extremely dedicated individuals. And
so the Franklin County court system gets a bad rap?
I think it's a perception. I don't think it's a bad rap. I think it's a perception of a bad rap. I think
perception of a bad rap.
You're talking about cash register justice.
Mm-hmm.
As far as cash register justice goes, we can do a lot of things. On court-appointed cases, I represent indigent individuals. As a judge, you can authorize money for investigation. That's important because people that have money can afford private attorneys, private investigators, and get a better defense. So as a judge, you can authorize money for private investigations so that that person gets a better defense.
Well, let me ask you this. Is this cash register justice thing, is this real? Yeah, and I did a show just about a month ago. All the reverends can tell you, and we asked that primary question. Can you get justice in the Franklin County court system? I mean, overwhelmingly, almost 9-1, people said no. So there's the perception down there. Is this the cash register justice exist, or is this just a bad wrap up, a bad perception? What about it?
I think it exists to an extent. I do think our judges try to do a good job, but you bring to the bench who you are, all right? And if you've not been representing individuals, you haven't been on the...
Stop right there. What does extent mean? You said it
here's what it means.
To an extent. What do you mean?
Because if you're poor and you get a public defender, their caseload, they may have 50 cases in one day. 20 cases. A public defender cannot cover 20 cases. If you're a private lawyer and you've been privately retained and paid, that's my only case that day. You've got my entire.
But you say it's more than just a bad rap. I mean, your opponent says it's just a bad rap of a, it's a perceptual issue. Is it?
I say it's more than just a perceptual issue.
I'm making it specific to you. How will I be ensured that I get justice from you when I come before you?
Well, you have to trust me. There's no other way to do it. There is no other way to ensure justice other than to promise it and to do it.
I have to trust you?
You have to trust all of your judges. You have to trust everyone that you're putting up there. That's why you're having this fantastic program, so that people can get to know what the people are all about that they're voting for.
Tell us about you.
Judges have a certain amount of flexibility within their responsibilities. And so there are things that we can and can do based on factors for felony sentencing. And I think that if you see judges are being not fair and impartial, aren't being even-handed, aren't doing sentencing consistently, I think that you hold those judges accountable on elections.
Person that is objective. I am impartial. I look at each situation.
Whoa. You don't think she's objective and you don't think she's impartial?
Well, you know what? Straight Talk. We are on Straight Talk Live, right? Let's talk straight. I can only quote what the judge said in her Columbus Dispatch voter guide. And in her Columbus Dispatch voter guide, she indicates, and this is her words, that she is a strict constructionalist to the law. However,
is that a code?
Well, yes, it is. But she says, however, I do not believe that defendants are victims in most cases.
Okay.
I believe that defendants make victims. And so right there off the jump, coming into that courtroom, if you are a defendant, this judge is looking at you as a person who has made someone else a victim. That's her quote. I am not that way. I believe in the presumption of innocence. I believe that the law says that individuals are innocent until proven guilty, not that they are guilty until proven innocent. And so when I come to the bench, I'm going to bring that objective viewpoint into the courtroom with me and look at each individual defendant as an individual that deserves a fair hearing, not with the eye that because you were sitting there behind that table that you are automatically someone who's made someone a victim.
This is Pastor John Coatswell. What can I say? The community has been well served today, and special thanks to Kahari and Enaharo for hosting this judicial show today. Why judges, Kahari?
Well, because I think it's important. People don't know enough about judges. Everybody wants to vote for mayor. Everybody wants to vote for governor. But the greatest impact on your life are the judges, because they decide on everything in your life. That's why I think it's important that you know about them. And sometimes we got to take the time to be a little patient with what we do, but it's important that we understand this office above all.
Well, thank you, Kahari. God bless you.